Many Americans could see smaller tax refunds than expected next year. This comes as many pandemic relief programs are set to expire. The average refund for the 2021 tax year, around $3,200. That was 14% higher than the previous year. The CBS News Money Watch Associate Managing Editor, Amy Peaky, I haven't said your name in a while, has the latest on the tax updates. Amy, it's good to see you. Peaky.
Hey, good to see you too.
Coming with the good news, I see, on this Monday morning. Exactly just which programs are set to expire?
Yeah, so there are a few programs that are actually expiring or have expired, and some that were kind of supercharged during the pandemic, but now are reverting, or in 2022 reverted back to their prior smaller footprints. So the big one that everybody probably knows about it are the stimulus checks. There were 3 of them, and the last one was in 2021, which means that tax credit was actually a tax credit, isn't available for taxpayers in 2022. And another one that millions of people benefited from was the child tax credit, which was expanded in 2021 to up to $3,600 per child. Now this year, 2022, the child tax credit still exists, but it reverted back to its prior form, which is $2,000 per child. So parents will get smaller tax refunds, possibly because they have smaller tax credits for this from this benefit. Another one that simply expired was the charitable deduction, which allow people who don't itemize, who just take the standard deduction, to write off $300 for a single taxpayer, $600 for married taxpayers if they gave to charity. And that also helped because that reduces your income and it can lower your taxes. And that is simply expired. So that's not available to people who don't itemize anymore. And then there are a few others that have reverted to smaller forms as well. The earned income tax credit benefited single people without children. That tripled in 2021. That's reverted back to its prior form. And there's the child independent care tax credit, which was up to $8,000 per family, and that's back down to about $2,100 per family this year. So, there are a number of people who might see smaller tax refunds when they file in early 2023.
So then perhaps some good news. Is there anything that Americans can do to increase their refund and reduce their tax bill?
Yeah, absolutely. So, right now, the last few weeks of the year, it's actually time to check in and see, well, what steps can I take? And one thing you can do is contribute to your retirement fund. If you have a 401k, if you have an IRA, consider contributing more money to those funds, because those are, you participate on those in a tax deductible basis, which basically means every dollar you put in reduces your taxable income. So that's one way to save for retirement and reduce your tax liability. And another thing, if you have investments this year, chances are you've lost money somewhere. You can take a loss on an investment and you can deduct up to $3,000 of those losses against your income. So it's another way to reduce your liability. So think about those types of steps that you can take before the end of the calendar year, but you really need to be aware that, many of these steps need to be taken by December 31st.
Yeah, every little bit counts. So how will next tax season be adjusted for inflation?
Yeah, so, every year the IRS adjusts its provisions for inflation. That means like the tax brackets go up, the standard deduction goes up, the amount you can put into your 401k or your IRA goes up based on inflation. Now, the thing is that this year's 2022's inflation adjustments were made a year ago before inflation really picked up. So we're really not going to see the big boost until the 2023 tax year, because those inflation adjustments were just made. And in 2023, tax brackets, 401k contributions, they all go up about 7%, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, inflation adjustments that we've seen in decades. So, next year, you're probably going to see some benefit in your withholding or, when you pay your taxes, but you might not really feel that benefit until you're into the tax year and when you file in early 2024. So it's a little bit of a wait for that one.
Well, we just hit people with a ton of information they should know, Amy. They can head to the CBS News website and find your article there. Amy Peaky, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on.
We're going to pivot now. It is tax season and tax time. And if you think you've got problems trying to get your documents ordered and filed, our next guest says the IRS is dealing with much larger long-term problems that could impact filers. Here to help us discuss, let's bring in Charles Rosati, former IRS commissioner. Charles, thanks so much for being with us today. You say the IRS Thank you. You say the IRS is in crisis mode. Why do you say that, and how does it impact taxpayers?
Well, I think that millions of people probably could find that out just from their own dealings with the IRS. Many people are being impacted right now is just not being able to get a refund. Over 70% of the people do get refunds, and many businesses get refunds. And I'm sure that many of the people listening right now have been frustrated in not getting what they expected and not being able to find out why. In addition, millions of other people are probably getting or have gotten some sort of written notice or letter from the IRS saying that there was some sort of error, or maybe that they owe money and maybe they didn't owe money. To be honest, I actually got one of those myself. Of course, it was wrong. I paid, but they had an error in the way they process things. And this is all, being experienced right now, but it is something that has just been building up over years. The IRS has been cut year after year after year in terms of their staff, in terms of their investment for technology, really for almost 25 years, at the same time that the Congress has piled on more responsibilities. And, I know many of your listeners are in business. It's sort of like a business that every year they say, well, we can get by a little bit less, fewer people. We can defer, what we do for our computer upgrades. And, nothing really that bad will happen. And you just do that for 25 years. At the same time, you get more and more, in the case of businesses, customers, but in the case of the IRS, tax returns. Eventually, it's going to fall apart. And actually, that is really what is happening right now.
And Charles, just to help put it into perspective, the IRS budget is about 49% of what it was 2 decades ago. So how much do you think that contributes to long-term problems that the IRS is facing?
That is huge. I mean, it's not just that it's half in relation to GDP, but think about it. Everything's gotten bigger and more complicated. There's 84% more business returns. But on top of that, the IRS is not only a tax collection agency. Of course, that's what everybody thinks of. It's a huge payment industry. Last year, the IRS actually sent out more money in the form of refunds and benefits than the Social Security Administration. I mean, think of that. And its budget was less than that in Social Security. That's before you get to collecting any taxes. So this has gotten completely out of balance over a very long period of time. And eventually you get what you have now. And taxpayers are feeling it. And that's, by the way, before you even get to the fact that they're supposed to actually collect taxes that people owe and don't pay, which is another huge amount, $600 billion a year. So we have a crisis. It's not only a short-term crisis, it's a long-term problem, and it's going to take some big changes to fix it.
So already such a backlog from last year that, the IRS is still working through. How much more challenging is this tax season going to be, though, with all these extra stimulus payments, child tax care payments, and then also now cryptocurrency needing to be, gains and losses needing to be reported? How does that all make this more challenging?
Well, you just said it yourself. I mean, these things one thing adds to another. Certainly some of it was due to the pandemic and the additional things that were done. But here's a thing that you might be surprised. There are actually 129 individual and 179 business tax breaks or credits in the tax code. Each one of those is something that has to be evaluated, and it usually results in the IRS paying out money. That's before you ever get to collecting anything. So these things all add up to a huge overcapacity for the IRS. They ended up with 24 million paper returns not processed at the end of the year. Those are still building up as the tax filings go. And then until recently, they were continuing to send out millions and millions of notices to people saying that they had an error in their return or they hadn't paid, even where that was really not accurate because it was caused by the backlog. So we have a mess. I mean, it's just got to be dealt with in the short term. But in the long term, it really takes 3 things to fix this. One is it has to get some funding restored on a long-term basis. It can't be done, in 3 months or 6 months. Think about it. You can't hire people and train them in the tax code, if you only have 3 months or 6 months left in the fiscal year. And the technology is essential. Every business, that's in almost any sphere is investing in technology in order to make themselves more efficient. The IRS is grossly deficient in how much funding it's had for technology. So it needs long-term funding, but it also needs the flexibility to hire people, and it needs to have Congress set some clear standards and goals for what it's expected to do.
All right, thank you so much. Many challenges ahead, and tax filers wanting the best advice on how to move forward quickly and painlessly this season. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your
peace, family, peace, family, peace, family, peace. This your brother Red Dad, Blue Dad, aka Financial Freedom Fighter, aka Time Clock Smash. And guess what, family? I'm back at it again, and I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to change your mind when it comes to these cryptocurrencies, NFTs, blockchains, so on and so forth, family. Now, I told you, family, it's an income crisis taxes, family. I showed you the good, the so-called bad, and the so-called ugly, family. There's millions of people that have not received their tax forms. If you go back and watch my live streams, this is Deeper Than Cryptos and Blockchains. I told you that the IRS is just human people sitting behind, family, and there's not enough workers, okay? This is how they're going to bring in the robots. This is how they're going to bring in Cbdc. This is how they're going to bring in blockchain technology, family. It is an income tax crisis that's been happening over the last few years, family. You got to have eyes to see, and you got to have ears to listen, family. You got to understand the game so these people don't play you, man. You got to understand it, family. I'm here for you. So I'm here to explain to you what's going to happen, family. The income tax crisis is what's going to roll out the CBDCs, family. It's obvious. It's facts. I didn't say it. They said it. The guy said, the commissioner, ex-commissioner of IRS said that IRS is just not a place of returning taxes and information. It is a payment system, family. The IRS is a payment system that always works around who? The federal government, family. Your Uncle Sam. Okay, your Uncle Sam pay taxes to who? The Queen. The Federal Reserve is right in the middle of that. The Federal Reserve is our private central banks, family. You gotta have eyes to see and ears to listen. He told you that there's gonna be a couple of issues that they're dealing with. They're dealing with funding, okay? Funding, and they need to roll out technology, family. 25 years they've been facing this, okay? They're gonna roll out the technology, okay? And today, I just have a simple article to talk about some of the technology that's involved into this Fednow payment system, and that's Cypherium, family. Okay, here's a small article that I'm going to read, and I ain't gonna waste your time. I know you got ABC, ADB, and everything else. You got other things better to do than to understand the stuff that's happening in the world. The real crisis, family. The crisis that they're creating. The crisis that they're gonna create a problem. The crisis that they're gonna give you a solution. They're gonna roll in with the solution, man. The action. Here it is, here, family. This is what I believe, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a man that reads stuff that you don't want to read. Now, Cypherium, family, I believe. It's not in my words, it's in their words, okay? Here's one of the technologies, okay, that features the Federal Reserve new Fednow system that I talked about, okay? New York, that's one of your largest federal banks. That's your banking system, okay? Cypherium is proud to be featured in Federal Reserve new Fednow provider showcase online designed to connect financial institutions looking to adopt and vote upon the Fednow services providers instant payment solutions. Okay, you imagine you getting your income tax, and once you get approved, boom, you get an instant payment through a bot, through blockchain technology that know you better than you know yourself, family. Wouldn't that be nice if you file your taxes? Wouldn't that be nice, family? Okay, wouldn't it be nice? As soon as you get approved, boom, they send it right through. They got a system that knows everything, okay? Now, Fednow can be that system. Now, instant payment, says Sky. He's the CEO of Cypherium. With the solution of financial institution business to consumers will be able to access the speed, convenience through other benefits. Fednow services will provide the launch in 2023, family. That's in a few more days. It's like December 27th, I think. Now, Cypherium plans to instant payments to organizations that are adopting the Fednow service. Cypherium is the blockchain platform enabling faster payments, cross-platform interoperability. You're going to remember that word, interoperability. It's in every single documentary. Every single documents that requires fast payments. Now, consumers may use Cypherium digital wallet to interact with the Fednow services. We appreciate the commitment of Cypherium being able to enabling the Fednow adoption. Participate in the showcase, Nick said. The Federal Reserve Senior Vice President and now Fednow Business Executive. Time is now for organizations to identify and connect partners. They will need to build a end-to-end solution market demanding. Now, the commissioner of IRS say they need technology, family. What technology are they talking about? Okay. Now, if you don't know about Cypherium, I'm just going to read it. Simply stupid. I made plenty of videos on Cypherium, but I'm just going to read it for you that have not watched my other videos. It's okay. I'm going to read it in this one. Cypherium is a layer 1 blockchain protocol designed for other financial to include users to delivering operational efficiencies for the enterprise institutional partners using a hybrid concession mechanism. Cypherium blockchain is designed to achieve commercial visibility while preserving the characteristics of decentralization and distributed ledger technology as the proof of work blockchain. Okay, proof of work blockchain means that they can create their own tokens, just like Bitcoin, like mining. Cypherium does not run the risk of classified as security. Cypherium approaches to create financial inclusive between civilians, bank, government, enterprises to begin with digital currency interoperability framework. This is a serious technology. Okay, that's why the Fed not choose Cypherium. Okay, now the architect allowed any access of the central bank digital currency, a Cbdc, a stablecoin digital assets to receive distributed on chain or cross ledger. Furthermore, it can be integrated with payment services providers, banks, and digital wallets. Family, this is that digital wallet. If they're gonna airdrop you your taxes, this is one of the technology that they can use via Fednow. Okay. Now, about the Fednow services, the Federal Reserve is developing a Fednow service to facilitate nationwide of instant payments by service financial institutions, regardless of the site of geographical location and the clock, every day of the year. Through financial institutions participating in Fednow services, business individuals will be able to receive instant payments at any time of the day. Recipients will have a full access to funds immediately, giving them a greater flexible to manage their to manage their money, to make senseless payments, access to provided through the Federal Reserve Fed line. Okay, networks will serve more than 10,000 financial institutions directly through their agents. For furthermore information, go to FedNowExplore.org. Fednow is the service to mark the Federal Reserve as a list of marks related to financial institution products offered in financial institutions by Federal Reserve is available on the FRBservices.org. Cypherium, family. I told you, I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to change your mind when it comes to these cryptocurrency, NFTs, blockchain, so on and so forth, family. There's a crisis, and it's called an income tax crisis. Okay, I showed you a video. You're not going to get the amount of the amount of income tax that you got back over the last few years through the pandemic. It's going to be cut. Not only that, it's going to be cut, vast majority of us is going to be waiting a little longer time of getting it. Why? They don't have as many employees. They need help. The service needs help. Have you ever tried to call government agencies local? How long do it take you to get in contact with those people? I'm waiting. Don't hold your breath. These are the chances right here that we get a chance to get in front of the wave, family. If you got eyes to see and you got ears to listen. There's a whole bunch of stuff being shaken up in the system. Okay, right now, don't matter what color you are, if you're reading these technologies, you can be ahead, of these racist banks, of this racist system, okay, of this privileged system based on your skin color. But if you have information right now and you got a few dollars, you can be advanced. You can be ahead of a lot of people, because family, if they flip the switch and you're privileged and you have your money sitting in these raggedy banks, you're going to really see how much the value of the dollar is worth. If the value of the dollar is worth 70 cents, that means 30% of your wealth is gone overnight. Okay, and then even talking about the fees that you're going to have to transfer over to the digital wallets, family. So if you got eyes to see and ears to listen, I know there's a lot of people of all colors got some money. I'm telling you, they've been taught to save it in the raggedy banks. Oh, look at my bank account. But yeah, they flip the switch on you, baby. And you got to convert that dollar over to the old digital dollar. 30% of your wealth going to be gone. You're going to see the value of the dollar, because they're not going to give you dollar from dollar of physical fiat, because physical fiat is not even worth dollars. It's worth 70 some cents. Check, do your research. So how your bank is going to give you dollar for dollar in a digital currency? So 30% of your wealth is gone. Poof. But if you already ahead of the game, you're already hedging your money with real estate, land, blockchain technology, digital assets, you going to reap the benefit, family. Nobody has lost anything until they have sold it. You have not lost your house until you sell it at a loss, family. So keep that in mind. You have not lost your crypto until you sell your crypto at a loss. I understand hard times, but that's what it's there for. That's why you learn how to invest, to protect yourself. And hard times come, you got no right, you take it if you need it. It's your money. And if it's your crypto, it's your keys, it's your money. Okay? So keep that in mind, family. Please understand this, family, so we can be ahead of this thing. Check out Cypherium, okay? Not financial advice. Check it out and check out those who are like it, okay? Know this, family, so we can be ahead of this. I am your financial freedom fighter, and I'm fighting for you financially. I want to shout everybody out for supporting me in Cash App. It's in the descriptions. Shout everybody for going to the store, purchasing the merch. Shout out to Kings and Queens Apartment. Thank everybody for purchasing the Red Dad, Blue Dad book on Amazon. I appreciate all the support, family. You support me, I'm gonna continue to support you as long as I got breath in my body, man. I'm moving on to bigger and better things. This your boy Red Dad, Blue Dad. Hit that like button. Share me out. Peace and love. I'm out.